Now this, my friends, I think is a good way to start off a match of multi-team hardpoint. You're going to see my little strategy that I talked about in my first video, and if you missed that, you might want to go click on it just to see what I'm talking about. But in this game, I utilize that strategy to its core, to its fullest extent, and I don't think I want to give it away, but we'll just say that I end up with an absurd amount of caps, points, and experience after this game. And it's all because of this little strategy that I use, which just got me dogs within the first, I think, minute of the game. And yeah, it's just all about basically sitting near the hard point as I do. I sit on that set of stairs right there behind it and wait for these, again, idiotic was what I meant to say, other team to get on it. Here's another great spot right here that I wanted to mention. So I sit here, I wait for them to get on it. I know we've got a lead, we're winning 18-3, whatever, it's no big deal. And I wait for them to get on it, shoot them in the face, and hop off it, get back on it. And I just overlap my dogs by accident. I had one set and I thought I'd called them in earlier. I think when I was calling in a second UAV or something, and I somehow managed to overlap two sets of dogs, and later on it's also going to become apparent that this game could have probably been a lot better. But I was actually pretty happy with the final result, and I know I'm using the try-hardiest of try-hard guns, which of course is the PDW, which, I don't know, I compare it a lot to the MP40. Anyone who plays with me will know I compare it to the MP40 a lot, and I know it's nothing like that, and maybe even not quite as bad as the UMP from Modern Warfare 2. If anyone out there has been around long enough, they know what I'm talking about. The one SMG in every game that seems to be a laser. And you can see me, again, employing this same strategy here. I sit down by this ladder here and wait for them to hop on the point, and then go on, kill them, get the 200 points, rinse and repeat. Yeah, what was I saying? The PDW. Yeah, what I'm using is... yeah, it's a try-hard gun. Well, I don't know. I think so anyway. I think if this is a gun that people will use if they're getting owned or want to go for a good game or want to do well. And that's mainly due to the decent power, the fast reloads. Well, I mean, the reload isn't fast, but it's relatively good. The massive mag, 50 rounds, which is completely ridiculous. And just the general lack of recoil at range and damage drop off and God knows what else, but it just seems to be that gun that everybody is flocked to in this game, and I don't want it to go down like the MP40, I don't want it to go down like the UMP, but I'm so worried that it's going to, and I don't know if it's something that the devs can actually warrant any kind of changes to, because that's the problem, is that it's not overpowered. It's not like, I don't know, it's so hard to tell at this point, because I don't think it's OP. And just to take a break from that tangent, I just pull up the scoreboard there. See, I have 17 caps, so that's, do some quick math, I don't know, 3,400 score. It's 200 points, so 17 times 2 would be 34. It's been a long time since I've taken a math class. But yeah, I think I had 4 caps in the first minute, had those dogs in the first minute, so you can see the strategy that I employ in this game really does work. If you can use it correctly, and if you can win while doing it, that's what it's all about. Because it's for me, it's all about winning, and I know I sound like a broken record here, because that's what I said in my last video, is that I'm all about winning, and I don't get these big scoring games often, and I'm always on the hard point and all that shit. But I really do think it bears repeating that I do this kind of thing when I know I'm gonna win, and you'll see later in the game. I don't know if I already said this. I'm already losing track of what I've said and what I haven't said, but I think it's about the other teams being awful, and that's the only time I'm going to get a game like this, is when the other teams are really bad. So I think it's just good to keep that in mind, that I do like to go for the win. Like, that's what I'm all about, is winning, and just watch me fail so badly here. I do like going for the win, and if I'm not winning, I'm not having a good time. And again, like I said, this is just an added bonus. I feel like I'm saying all the same shit that I said before. But I wanted to talk about my setup a little bit here, and what I'm using, and especially the whole flak jacket and ghost thing, because I think that's a pretty important piece of a good objective setup, and especially one. There's that fucking Remington again. It's a perfect setup for an objective player like me, who likes to carry a streak, because with all the UAV spam in this game, it's so difficult to keep a streak together. And here you see us sitting on the hard point a little bit, because we saw we were down. And because of all the UAV spam in this game, it really is difficult to keep a streak going. And there's the Remington again. Knowing that you're on the UAV all the time, it's difficult. So I think that flak jacket and ghost combination of keeping you off the radar and protecting you from the plethora of explosives to be found in a hard point game. There's the Remington again, and you can start to see why I dislike that gun. But it is really kind of a mandate in this game to run ghost, at least most of the time. And then I've got the scavenger and toughness set up, and I like that because scavenger, I find, is worth a point for me more than a secondary is, because it basically guarantees that I'm always going to have ammo, rather than, you know, switching to a gun that also has limited ammo. And especially having a gun like the PDW that's so versatile, it really, there's no need for a secondary, and scavenger's a much better route to go. And I tend to use the toughness screed with it, because I find, for whatever reason, view kick is a big problem for me in this game. And especially I found while I was using most of the assault rifles, I got the diamond assault rifles, and so I used them quite a bit, and I found I had to put toughness on every single one of them if I wanted to win fair gunfights. I basically had to have toughness, or else if I was getting shot, my gun would just hop over people's heads, and I would miss every time, especially with guns like the SWAT, the FAL, the SMR, any kind of gun that you need to repeatedly pull the trigger for any kind of burst or a semi-auto gun. And so toughness, yeah, I find is a very important part of any kind of setup where you know you're going to get shot at a lot. And it's kind of, I find it's one of the weaker perks in the game, because it doesn't do much. It only does basically one thing, where some perks have, you know, 2 to 3 to even 4 effects. But that being said, it is a very important one. And then I run tac mask as well, because it's so I can't say enough about shock charges in this game, and how annoying they are, and how, I don't know why I called that UAV in, but shock charges, I can't say enough about them, especially people whoever decided it was a good idea to place Bettys right next to shock charges, and then watch while people try to duck under them and realize they can't when the Betty goes off, because the shock charge prevents you from doing anything except being annoyed, which they do quite well, especially in hardcore. I spent a lot of time in hardcore free-for-all. I know I want to kill myself, but when I was trying to get the M12 shotgun gold, getting the one-shots was impossible if you weren't in hardcore, and so that's where I did it. And I don't know how I started talking about this, but I really wanted this game to be a showcase of my little strategy, and how you can use bad players in a good situation to your advantage, staying near the hard point and just hopping on when the other team gets on it is an incredible way to get a score like this. And I think I pull the scoreboard here in a second, and I have, I believe, 30 caps of the hard point, which comes out to, you know, 6,000 score towards my collective score streaks, and 13,000 score. So there you go. Thanks, guys.